Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Pumpkin Picks back with another video, and today I'm gonna be talking about Sean O'Malley versus Merab UFC. I believe this is 316. It says it right there on the screen, and yes, I'm gonna be going over this card. Let's get right to it. Now, as you guys know, I'm only gonna be going over the fights that we care about. I don't know who these two mid-offs are, but they're freaking mid. Okay, so let's go right to Quilin Selkid. I don't know how to say his name. My pronunciation is just as bad as Chael Sonnen's. And I know he's up and comer. I don't know much about Yanal Ashmuz, but all I know is that he's gonna beat the freaking Palestine off this dude. Okay? I think the last time he fought was in the UFC Australia card, if I'm right about that. And I'm pretty sure when I saw him fight, I was really impressed. So I'm not going to keep exposing my MMA casualness, but Ariana De Silva, yeah, damn, you know what I mean. I don't even know if she has a yeah like that, but Chaos Williams, Andris Gustafsson. I don't know much about the fight, but I know Chaos Williams is big. Sergey Spivak, for some reason, I hate seeing Sergey Spivak in UFC fight cards. Every time I see him, I'm just like, this is just a mid-off. I feel like he looks like every UFC heavyweight. For real. But let's start off with Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. Now, I am very, very high on Joshua Van's skills. I think skill for skill, I think he's like 5'2". This dude's a freaking midget. Okay? Bruno Silva, I'm assuming he's the average 5'5", 5'6" flyweight height. But Bruno Silva isn't that... I just don't see any way how I think Joshua Van is a guaranteed champion in this division. If the only one that could really stop him is within the top 5 rankings, when you have Brandon Moreno, who can crack. You have, the freaking champion, and I'm forgetting his name because I always forget their name when I make videos. What is a champion of the UFC flyweights name? What is his name? I can't think of his name right now for the life of me. I don't know why I can't think of his name when I'm every time I make these videos, but yeah, I have Joshua Van coming, or he's gonna win this fight pretty easily in my opinion. It's not gonna be close. Damn, he's a minus 650 favorite. I was not expecting that. He should not be a minus 650 favorite. I mean, he's good, but minus 650, that's insane. That's like more than what Khabib will get in his prime. Okay, Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. Now, honestly, if you know me, I like fights that matter. I hate going into fights and seeing fights where you have two basically washed fighters, and that's what this is. Okay, this fight gets us nowhere. This is just a fight to fulfill their contract, because Luke is not going to be a champion. I think he should already retire. He's fighting for a paycheck, and Kevin Holland literally says he only fights for a paycheck. And what's frustrating about Kevin Holland is that you already see all the fans turning against him. He's a minus 270 favorite, and I agree with that. Okay, Vicente Luque, I saw a couple people suggest that he's gonna try to grapple and submit Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is not that easy to submit. I mean, okay, yeah, Vicente Luque submitted freaking... I can't think of his name now. He's the guy that got punched by Kevin Lee. Yeah, well, Vicente Luque, he submitted him. So did Kevin Holland. And you guys know who I'm talking about. Yeah, Vicente Luque... Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa got submitted by Vicente Luque and Kevin Holland. I think people kind of overrate Vicente Luque's grappling. I mean... It's not like this dude's a freaking Charles Oliveira or anything. He typically just, I know he submitted Tyron Woodley after rocking him, I believe. I think Tyron Woodley was pretty hurt. And Kevin Holland, he's not going to engage the grappling with him. Vicente Luque is more of a defensive grappler. And I think Kevin Holland, his matchup, where he does best is when he fights people like Vicente Luque, someone who's just basically trying to stalk him. Kevin Holland is a long puncher. He has great long jabs and long striking skills, and I think that is a type of fighter that Vicente Luque tends to fall against. Vicente Luque is trash now. Okay, I know a lot of people saw him as a prospect, but once I saw him within the top 5, I was like, wow, yeah, the welterweight division is really falling off. I never rated Vicente Luque's skill. Okay, so for me, guaranteed lock, Kevin Holland is winning this match. Next, Mario Bautista versus Patchy Mix. It was supposed to be Chito Vera, but I forgot. I haven't seen what happened to him. I don't know why he got taken off this card. But Patchy Mix, he was one of the bigger prospects outside of the UFC. I believe he was in the PFL, and he beat multiple big names. He beat Sergio Pettis. He beat a couple other big names that I've seen, or that I've seen going around. I've never seen him fight, but Merab is talking very highly about him. He says that they are basically one of their main training partners with each other, and I was just so confused because when I saw everyone talking about Patchy Mix, I'm not too aware of him, but everyone was saying, oh, like Rob was saying, oh, after I beat Mario Bautista, I'm gonna call for a title shot. Like I'm gonna have to call for a title shot, and that they're okay fighting with each other. And I'm just like, bro, one fight against Mario Bautista. I know that these PFL and Bellator fighters are getting big pushes, but one fight, you cannot get a title fight off of beating Mario Bautista in your UFC debut. It seems like he has a lot of hype with him, but I think he is not gonna. I do see him. If the hype is there, which I'm assuming it is, Mario Bautista it does have a dog in him, but everyone's saying like Patchy Mix is gonna run right through Mario Bautista. I don't think he should get the title shot after this fight. I think whoever wins this fight should go on and probably fight the winner of Peter Yan, and then Corey Sandhagen will be getting Merab or Sean O'Malley. But if the hype is there, I have Patchy Mix winning this fight. I don't really rate Mario Bautista's skills that much, but Patchy Mix has a great resume. He's still young in the game, so we still have a lot to see from him. I'm going with Patchy Mix. Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Who do I have in this fight? When they were fighting in Mexico, I had it going to Kelvin Gastelum. Now that they're fighting in New Jersey, I think this fight is gonna basically move the needle more for Joe Pyfer. Kelvin Gastelum, the reason why I was saying he was gonna win is because they're fighting in altitude. Joe Pyfer is a power puncher. He's gonna gas himself out. I mean, you saw just because he's a power puncher and he got this record that beat Francis Ngannou, and this dude got outstriked by Jack Hermanson. Okay, Joe Pyfer is the main training partner with Sean Brady. Sean Brady literally just walked all over Kelvin Gastelum like he was easy. So I saw MMA Guru saying that he predicts Joe Pyfer to submit or basically out-grapple. I think he even said submit Kelvin Gastelum. I think with Kelvin Gastelum's style, he's going to go, he's going to put his chin up in the air. He's going to try to punch Joe Pyfer out. Originally, I was saying that Joe Pyfer was gonna win, but how old is Kelvin Gastelum? Because if this dude's over 35, which he might be, I'm not going to go for him. Fuck! I'm not seeing his freaking age. Damn, he's 20-9. Whoa! You guys are seeing my freaking 33. Okay. Kelvin Gastelum is 33 years old. I'm going to stick with my pick. I was just about to lean to Joe Pyfer, but I don't see him submitting Kelvin Gastelum. And I think the way that Kelvin Gastelum would fight in his prime, which we're well past that, but I still think that he has, especially with all that shit that Joe Pyfer was talking about Mexico, I think Kelvin Gastelum trained a little extra for this fight. I would expect him to at least. I'm going to go with Kelvin Gastelum winning by decision. Or you know what? Yeah, by decision. I think he's going to, Joe Pyfer's going to gas himself out after round 1 because Kelvin Gastelum fights with his chin up in the air. And then Joe Pyfer thinks he's going to knock him out. He gasses himself out. Kelvin Gastelum comes back in the second. And then he secures round 3 pretty easy with a gassed out Joe Pyfer. Now, Juliana Pena versus Kyla Harris. I think that we haven't really been able to assess all of Kyla Harrison's skills. Because the one thing we all know that she's better than Juliana Pena. Juliana Pena is trash, skill wise. I don't see. She's not a good striker. She's an alright wrestler. She's an alright grappler, but she is tough. Okay, in some ways she's kind of like Merab. She could just push the pace. Kyla Harrison, with all that muscle that she has, it seems like she gets gassed out pretty fast. So I don't see her submitting Juliana Pena. I'm not. God dang, I another underdog. That's insane. I won't be surprised if Juliana Pena beats Kyla Harrison. That's the thing. I really won't be surprised. And from UFC history, if Kyla Harrison beats Juliana Pena, we're gonna see Juliana Pena Amanda Nunes versus Kyla Harrison. And these types of matchups, these dream matchups that the UFC always wants to put, they never happen, okay? MMA gods just don't like dream matchups. And you know what? I'm going to stay with my pick. I'm going to go with Juliana Harrison getting the upset win against Kyla Harrison. Juliana Pena gets the upset win with Kyla Harrison because big matches are not meant to happen in UFC. It seems like it's just against freaking God's plan. Okay? So, I got Juliana Pena beating Kyla Harrison by decision. It could be, by decision. I'm going to stay with that. So, next, Merab Dvalishvili, the champ of the UFC, versus Sean O'Malley, a.k.a. Adam 22. This fight, I think, is a lot closer than what everyone's talking. Everyone's making it out to be. Look, that first round was close in the first fight. And then you look at round 3, I think that was also a swing round. It was arguably just as close as round 1, but the only difference is that O'Malley did a lot of his damage in the last 10-15 seconds of the fight, so that would tend to sway it to the judges. And then the 5th round is hands down O'Malley's round. So that fight was close. It could have easily, like, 1 or 2 more strikes landed. That fight could have went to freaking Sean O'Malley. And this is a Sean O'Malley where he says that he's injured. Okay? So I think you saw that Sean O'Malley stopped jaying the bean, or however he says, flicking the bean. He stopped using social media, Snapchat. Like, okay, bro, you stopped using Snapchat. Fuck. But according to him, like, he's a whole different person. Merab, on the other hand, I think it seems like he's coming into his fight way too secure. Like, he said he had trouble basically motivating himself for this fight. He also said that, like, I just feel like there's, with these fights, especially, I believe they're saying that he's approaching a UFC record that he's going to break. And I just think the writing on the wall for an upset, the upset everywhere in this fight is just, it just screams to me upset, okay? I predicted this. I didn't make a prediction video. I should have freaking made a prediction video for the Bilal Muhammad fight. I had JDM winning. And then, like, against Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya, I had Israel Adesanya winning. Although I was wrong about the style of that fight. You know, like, there was just so much. I just think, like, the prediction, it's just so clear. Like, but the thing is that I don't want to go with 3 underdogs in a row. No way I'm going to get all 3 right. No way I get all these 3 fights right. If anything, I can get Kelvin Gastelum. Like, I think that's the most predictable. Joe Pyfer beating Kelvin Gastelum. But you know what? I've been wrong with a lot of, like, no, I'm sticking with Sean O'Malley. I have Sean O'Malley winning by knockout. I was watching that Marlon Morales fight again. And also the first Sean O'Malley versus Merab. I saw that today. Dude, there was a lot of times when a locked-in O'Malley could easily knock out Merab. And on top of that, like, now, the other thing that can be in the favor of Merab is that now you can knee, I think, down opponents and kick them. Like, Merab, I just don't think that this time off, especially the fact that he was in training camp and he's injured, like, his style has always remained the same. It's basically gassed him out. Sean O'Malley, we thought that he had bad cardio in the beginning. We now know that he has good cardio. He beat Merab in the 5th round, and on top of that, he has good front kicks. And I think he realized that with how quick he is, he's probably gonna look at that fight again. I think he was shy with throwing that front kick, but his front kick is too fast. Merab is not. He wasn't able to catch any of O'Malley's front kicks. Okay, so that front kick to the body, he's gonna keep pecking at his stomach. I think around the 3rd round, he's gonna get him hurt, and then around the later of the 2nd round, he's gonna get Merab hurt, and I think he's gonna win. I do think Merab can potentially win the 1st round because O'Malley, I wouldn't say I think he's gonna try to feint a couple shots at Merab, and he might get taken down. But 2nd round, I predict an O'Malley knockout. Ooh. Wow, I'm about to, if this I can either look like an MMA genius or most likely fish. But my videos only get 3 views, okay? So it's not like maybe one person's gonna, no one's gonna freaking watch this video. So Pumpkin Picks out.